All right, so now I'm going to review Unbounce with you all. So this is the Unbounce tutorial portion of this. Again, Unbounce is a landing page builder platform that has a drag and drop template that's really easy to use. So if you do have any issues with your website and you want to create a landing page that's associated with your Google ads, so your search ads, display ads, your shopping ads, you can use Unbounce as a landing page builder. Unbounce is not free. So they do have a free trial, but there is a membership that goes along. I'm going to go ahead and get started in getting you to Unbounce. I did already create an account for this one. That's how I was able to make those landing pages for the Google Ads tutorials. But I'll still walk you through the process of getting to Unbounce. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Google search for Unbounce. And here we go. Here's the Unbounce landing page builder. Okay, now what you would want to do is click Start My Free Trial. But before we do that, I can review pricing with you. Okay, so these are the three different pricing options. This is launch, it's $90 a month. This is what I would recommend because you're only going to be connecting your business domain, your one business domain. This is all you would really need to get started. So you are able to build multiple landing pages using one domain. So it is $90 a month. I think it's worth it, especially if you are looking to convert and make sales right away. So this to me is absolutely worth it. And you have a 14-day trial. Just if you don't want to go with it, just don't forget to cancel your 14-day trial. So these are the different options here that you can choose from to get started with Unbounce. So feel free to click on this and start your trial. I have already started a free trial. So you would just have to go through that process of filling out the information according to the prompts. Okay, so I have already built 2 landing pages here, but I am going to build one from scratch just so that you can start this off along with me. Just to get a little bit familiar here though with the account, over here all the way to the right, this is where you can manage your account. So you can click there, and this is where you can edit your name. You can place a profile photo here. You can put your logo or whatever you'd like. And this is just how you would get to your overview, your subscriptions, billing, all that information. But I'm going to go back to home. Anytime you click on the icon of any business, that usually brings you back to your home screen. In case you didn't know that, it's a helpful thing to know. So if you ever click, if you're on a website and you click on their logo, that typically brings you back to the home screen. Okay, so this is the navigation pane here. So if you wanted to get to your pages, you would select all pages, and then it also automatically populates for you here when you begin working on them. There are also some other really cool features here. This is for pop-ups and sticky bars. So if you're ever on a website and you have something pop up, that's what that is. It's a pop-up. AMP means accelerated mobile pages. So you can create a super speedy accelerated mobile page through AMP. Regardless, the pages are still fast and speedy, even if you create a new page without AMP. So it's not mandatory to create an AMP page, and it's a little bit more of an advanced feature. I'm going to go ahead and get started with creating a page. So what I'm going to want to do here is click on this top corner here, create new. And then you have the option to go through the Smart Builder template or the Classic Builder. I'm going to click Classic Builder and then start building. Okay, so then here you have a bunch of designs already pre-formatted. So in a sense, this is very similar to Canva, right? They already have these pre-formatted designs here that you would just quickly select and then drag and drop your images and some of the stuff that you want to highlight. And then you have these designs here that don't have any images. So if you're finding all of these to be a little bit distracting, you can click over here and then you would just start to fill out the components. So I'm going to click on this option here just to get started with a blank template where I can start to fill in these areas. But if you do like any of these designs here, please feel free to explore them, because all you would have to do is click and swap out some of the images. But let's go ahead and get started with this template. So you're going to want to name it first. I'm going to name it main of grass services. Start with this template. All right, so here I am. I'm in the Unbounce builder. This is really neat because you can drag and drop whatever you need right into here. So I'm going to show you around some of these features just so that you can get to know the builder a bit more. So over here, we right now are at the desktop view of everything. There's also the mobile view. So as you're editing things, and this is it's gonna lead you through explaining this as well. I'm gonna click out because I'm teaching you it, but you can definitely feel free to review that too. This here is the mobile view. So when you make changes to the desktop view, you're gonna wanna make sure that it is also mobile friendly, that it's reflecting in the mobile sense too. Sometimes when you do things on the desktop, it doesn't translate to mobile. So we're going to want to start with the desktop, create the entire design, and then when we're done, go over to mobile and then fix any elements that are sticking out, that are, just not translating nicely. And I'll show you different ways that we can do this too. So there are some features where I can hide some elements on the desktop component and then show them on the mobile component, but I'll go through that later. So that's how you navigate to the desktop and mobile in the editor. This right here is the form confirmation dialog. So if I go back over to the page, you're going to see a form down here. If somebody went and filled out the form, clicked submit, or whatever the call of action we'd want to assign it, they are then brought to a pop-up thank you message. So right now, this is the default thank you message. We would want to edit this so that it matches a proper thank you after filling out the form, and maybe letting them know that we will be in touch with you soon. So that's what this area is here. Over here are your page properties. We do want to make sure that we fill out this area. So we want to make sure that we have the proper title for the page, because that is what's going to populate on top here when we create the page. So whenever we have this, if you're on a website page, it shows the title of the page here. We want to make sure that title of the page is a good title. And then the description is what also populates in Google. So you want to make sure that is set too. So the title, description, and we're going to copy and paste our keywords into here. So for the title of the page, we would want the title to be related to the ads themselves. So if I go into my Google Ads account and I click over at search and I click here, the edit, I can copy and paste some of this information into my Unbounce page. So maybe I want my title to be Main of Grass Lawn Care and then Full Service Landscaping. Okay, and then for my keywords, I would want to select the keywords from my list that I created already. So I would want to refer to my Main of Grass ad group and keyword builder template. So I'm going to drag and drop this here for demonstration purposes. And then I can go ahead and copy and paste these keywords into here. So go ahead and pause me and then continue doing this. Go ahead and fill out all of your keywords that you have developed and put together and fill it in the keyword section here. All right, and then next I would want to fill in the descriptions. So for the description, I can use this here, my ad builder template, and I can fill in some of the descriptions from the lines here. I'm not going to copy and paste because I don't want these first letters capitalized. So maybe I'll pick the description line 2 here. So let us take care of your yard work. We're your local, affordable, go-to lawn professionals for all of your lawn care. Okay, so then I have my descriptions here. Excellent. So I have this all set here. I'm going to hit save, and sometimes it's a good idea to hit save throughout so that you're not losing anything, but this information will populate. Once you publish the page, this will be indexed into your page properties. So this will be the title of your page, which will show up on here. You see how this says new tab? Instead, that will say your page property. All right, so over here, this is showing all of the content of this area. Sometimes this can be distracting, so it might be something that you want to close out. And to do that, you can just hit this toggle here. I don't want too much on my screen while I'm working. This does come in handy though, if we do want to hide features on mobile and display. So for right now, I'm going to toggle out of that and I'll show you how to hide features in a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just start to format this page. So I'm going to go ahead and start editing this here. Now to add a section, say, you want something on top here that has a call to action. All you do is you click here, it says section if you hover over it, and then you drag and drop. And then you can move this however you'd like. So maybe instead of putting my logo here, I want to put it up here. The way I would do this is by going down here. So this is your drag and drop navigation pane. We've got sections, we've got boxes that we can create, we've got text, we've got images, button, lightbox. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to focus on that. You can embed videos and you can include your own custom HTML, but that's for advanced settings. Let's just focus on this right now. So I dragged and dropped this section here. I want to add a logo. So I'm going to click image and then drag and drop that here. And this is going to bring up a page where you can upload your images. I already uploaded these images because I've already created a landing page. It already has the images already uploaded in here. So these are all the images that I created for you to download. Go ahead and upload new images and drag and drop your downloaded images into here so that we can create a landing page together. Okay, so I'm going to want to enter my logo in here, but you know what? I think I want to add that other logo in here as well. So let's open that one too. Okay, and I think I'm going to use this one. So hit choose. And then what happens is if this is ever in the red, that means it is off of the area. So it's not going to look right on the page. So what you want to do then is make sure you're within these parameters. You want to make sure you're within this grid here, this vertical line here, and this vertical line here. If it goes outside of it, it turns red and you can't really continue on. I want to resize it. So I'm going to go like that just to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put that on the top here. Okay. And maybe I'd like to add a button here so that people can call me. To do that, this area is the button area. So you would click to drag and drop and you can rename it. So I'm going to name this Call Us so that they know that if they click on this button, they're going to be calling you. And I do want this up in this section here. You can relabel this with the number too. So if you don't want it to say that, if you want it to actually have the number, you could also do that too. Or you can have in here, Call Us. And then you can actually make this whatever size you want to, so that maybe it has all of this right there. So it has all the information. I'm just going to keep it at Call Us. And then under here, you're going to want to make sure that you select an action for the button so that when someone clicks on the button, they're able to do that action. So for this, because we're saying Call Us, we want to change this to call a number. And then you enter the number in here that you would want it to call. So And you want to enter it exactly like this. You don't want to put any brackets or dashes. This is exactly how you want to enter it. Some cool features here. You can change the button. So you can change the text. Maybe you want a different text. You want it to be, italicized. Here's more on the button style here. So you can change the color. And then you can use that dropper tool as well if you wanted to do a custom color. So I'm just going to pick purple here. It's the complementary color of green. So go ahead and choose that. And then you can fill in this area here. So remember what I said before, we really want our Google Ads, all this information here, to be in the landing page. It really has to be super relevant and specific. So for my header, let's go back over to our account. I'm gonna put here, affordable lawn care near you. And then you can change this so that it matches whatever your font family is. So just by clicking over here is how you would change it. And you can add and remove fonts too. So if it's not showing up here, you can add your own fonts and just do a search for whatever font you use. Okay, so here for the descriptive text here, I'm gonna actually just copy and paste what I have for my page properties. And this is all going to be really helpful because this is the stuff that's in your Google Ads account. So let us take care of your yard work. We're your local affordable go-to lawn care professionals for all of your yard needs. Now, what I want to do here is add a background image. I want to change this so that there's a background image. The way that I do that is by selecting this area. So if I click here, it's clicking that section. I want to click here to select this section. And then what I'm going to do is go here to background. So under style is where I can change this from a solid color to an image. All right. In that downloadable folder titled Demo Images for Student Use, this is where the background images are located. So there's a folder there titled Demo Images, Background Header Images. That's what these images are here. They're the demo images there. So I'm going to go ahead and select one of these, but again, you just want to upload them into here so that you can select them. I'm going to choose this one here for the background. So just select it, hit choose, and then it's going to fill out the entire background. Okay, what you're going to notice here though is it's conflicting with what you have on here. So we want to change that. Still keeping that background selected, all you have to do is just click in that area. What you're going to want to do is go over to here, advanced settings. We want to add an opacity to it. So I am going to increase the opacity here so that it's light and so that you can read the text in front of it. What I'm going to do, just to show you a different option, is I can have it so that it's white and your text is dark. Or if you wanted to, you can pick whatever color you want. So maybe I want it darker. I'm going to select dark over there, hit choose, and then it makes the background darker. And then maybe I want it even more darker. And then I want to change this to white. Choose. Okay. And then here, I want to change this to something lighter too. I'm just going to keep it white. Nice and clean. Awesome. So there we go. I have my background image. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I will make this a little less dark. There we go. So the opacity here is what changes this, and you want to make sure you're selecting overlay and then move the opacity to whatever you'd like. Another really cool feature, if you select parallax effect, watch this. I'm going to select that. Now, when you move the image, that stays in the background and the text here moves up and down. That's a pretty cool effect. So let me uncheck that for you so that you can see what it looks like unchecked. So now everything moves all together, but if you want it to be a little fancy, you can have it like that. Also, if you're finding once you create the landing page that, the image portion that you want on it isn't exactly where you want it, you can click here to reposition it. So maybe I just want the tire in that corner and you want to see more of this here. You can click to reposition it to whatever you'd like. I'm going to keep it right here. Okay. So now I'm going in this area here. Typically on a landing page, you're going to have that title, a little bit of a description, and then you're going to have your key benefits. Now, these are also the areas that your call outs are. So if you go over to your ad builder here, look, I've got my call out extensions here. So free estimate, customized support, pet safe. Maybe you want to include a fourth one in there. I'm going to pick 3 for the sake of this, but you can add another one of these in here. So let's go ahead and start to fill that out. I'm just going to list those 3 benefits here. So key benefit, free estimate, and you can go through and change any of these to the text color, the font, whatever you want. Let's do customized. Customized support. And then here, let's put pet safe. And if you wanted to add another section, another benefit, all you have to do is Command C, Command V, just copy and paste these areas, and then you can kind of resize them and create a new area there. But I'm just going to have 3 here for demonstration purposes. And then, you know what, maybe what I'll put here, maybe an image of an icon with a check mark, like free estimate check, customized support check, pet safe check. Or you can create images of these actual elements, and you can look for them in Canva too. But what I'm going to do here is go over to change image, and I'm going to use this check mark icon. And then don't scale. Okay. I just don't want it that large. So this is what I'm going to use here in this section. And then I will delete these to keep the same size, just Command C, Command V. And what's really helpful is that it has those grids so that, you know, you are able to line it up easily. Okay. Now here's something else that's helpful. Maybe you want to be able to move these around a little bit, just like how we did in Canva, we group the images. We can also group the images here too. So what I'm going to do is add a box. And in this box, I'm going to put these images up here. And as long as you have the middle one center, so this will show you that it's in the center of the page, that's really helpful because then you can kind of go off of that. So I always start with that, with the center image if I'm ever doing this. And then I can go ahead and put this up here. Just drag and drop. It's below here and this up here. And then you can add these little details to it too, just depending on what your business provides. I want that lined up with the edge. Okay. So there we have it. Now I can move this around. And you know what? I don't want this border here. So what I'm going to do is click on border and hit none. All right. So now we have this where I can move it up and down. And then I can make that section a little bit smaller. Okay, so then you have the form section here. You can keep this at fill out the form. Forms are what they are. So I feel like it's pretty logical that this is in fact a form. So what I could just do here instead is fill out for free estimate. And we'll make that a little bit longer. Make sure it is centered. Also, something that you can do is have this stretch all the way from one side to the other. And then if you center it, it'll automatically go right to the center. Enter your details below and the following will occur. So let them know what to expect here. So fill out the form below to get started with your free estimate, or put whatever you'd like. Okay, so now for the form area here. If you want to edit these form fields, click on this area here, and then over to the right, you'll see edit form fields. Here, you can do a whole bunch of things with your form. You can add text fields. So maybe if you want to add an area where they can tell you a little bit more about their lawn care needs, you can add that in here. So tell us more about your lawn care needs. And then they can fill this area in here. Also, you can make these required. So if you absolutely need to know this information, I would keep the name required, the email required. Maybe you don't need the company. If you want to delete something, you can just select it, and there's that little trash can icon. So that deletes it. Maybe you want their phone required, and then maybe you don't need this required. So you could leave that unchecked. Let's say you want to add in a drop-down menu, okay? So let's select this area here and put custom drop-down menu. Let's fill in what services are you interested in? If you want to have the first menu choice not valid, like maybe you want to tell them what to do, here, choose one. That would tell them what they need to do, and then they can't select that either. So let's have that one be choose one, and then we're going to add a bunch of here below. So lawn mowing, edging, and trimming, landscape design. And you would just want to enter all those areas here. So if I bring this over here, what else do I have? I've got stump removal, retaining wall, yard cleanup. So I want to add those areas in here. Stump removal, yard cleanup. And then maybe if you want to give them an option for something else, other. That way they can select that. Done. Oh, hang on a sec. I did want to show you something else on the form. So let's go back to the form by selecting it, edit form fields. I think I want this above here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that arrow so that I move it up. I think that looks more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So I'm going to move that up. And just a couple of other things, they do have predefined fields here, which is helpful. So if you did maybe want to separate their first and last name, you can delete this. So I'll go ahead and do that. Delete, and then add first name, last name. And then if I want to move this up, same with this. Okay. More drop-down fields. Look, they already have some of these predefined for you. So if you did want to pick state, look at that. It already has all of these there for you. We can move that up there. So it has all of that there. But I'm going to delete this just for the demonstration purposes. I just wanted to show you some of the predefined fields here. and then click done. Now this is looking like a mess. So what I want to do is take this and drag that again below. There we go. And look, here we go. And you'll be able to see this once I click preview. So actually, let me go ahead and save and show you the preview of what we have so far. Anytime you want to see what it looks like, just click this right here on the top, the preview button. And here we are. So we've got these areas here, fill out the form. If I click here, we've got all of those services that I just put in there. It's looking good. You can also select mobile. I bet mobile's gonna need help. Yep, so this is looking funny on mobile. We're gonna need to change things on mobile, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you that soon. Okay, so to go back over here, in this area, if you want to add reviews, I highly recommend adding some form of review. So that's what this section is. Maybe you just want to have one. So you can just remove these areas here. And you can fill this in however you like. And then down here, you can put more of your business information, or you can keep it simple with just this. I'm going to go ahead and add my logo here. I don't necessarily have to, once I have it already in here, I can simply copy and paste. So change this to Main of Grass 2021. And then here you would want to link your terms and condition and privacy policy. That is something that you would want in your footer. So the way to do that is if you click on it and then highlight it, go over to action, and then click go to URL. And then you would link your privacy policy URL here. And that would automatically insert that link. And then you can also have areas if you want to link back to your website, you can do that too. So you could put another button here that goes, that says visit website. And that could link back to your website. Here, we want to change this to submit. Or maybe you want get started. And then I just want to change this color to the color that I already have. And if you want to know what color you're using here, if you click on this, look, it gives you that color description here. So if I copy this and then go down here and paste, that'll change it to that color. Okay, and I'm just going to click save randomly throughout. Now let's go take a look at what we have so far. Okay, so we've got a call to action here. We've got our value pieces here. We've got fill out the form here. We've got a review here. This looks a little sloppy. I would probably fix that up here. You know what we're missing? We're missing some details about our business. Like this is not giving enough information. So I'm going to go back and add in another section. So let me click on edit. I'm going to add the section right here below the form. So click and drag here. So I'm going to go over to a page on the website, and I encourage you to do the same. Visit a page on your website, maybe about your services or about your products, and add some information in here from that. Just copy and paste. So I'm going to click to drag and drop a text box. And then I'm going to go over to my fake website here. And then I'm just going to copy and paste some information that I made for this purpose. So this could be your about page or about that specific package of services page. Here we go. And then maybe I want a little bit more about the lawn services specifically. Okay, so this is stuff that you should probably already have on your website. If not, you would want to create some copy here on your website that kind of reviews your services. I just copied and pasted from something that I had created for this demonstration purpose here. But it gives some information of those sections. And then, you know what, maybe you want to include a little bit more branding. So maybe I will add this logo right in here, right in this section here. Oh, I'm gonna move that below. Okay. And then again, I'm gonna hit save. Now what I need to do is fix the mobile area because the mobile area is going to be a mess. So I'm going to click here on the mobile area. You're going to get this pop up here and you can go through this too. It's just a little bit of a tutorial to help you figure this out. Okay, so for this, I'm going to want to change things a bit. So maybe instead of having this right next to it, maybe I want this on top. And then this right below. All right, I'm happy with this area here. That looks good. And then here, this is where it gets all messy. So what I'm gonna do here is, because I have this desktop view and this area like that, I actually want to make sure this all stays the same. Because if I go in on the mobile side and start moving all of this around, it's going to move around on here too. In this circumstance, what I would want to do is go over to mobile. I want to go over to this section here. Click on the entire section. Click on content. And then what I'm going to do is hit visibility here. And that's going to make that section invisible on the mobile end, which is really helpful. I want to create a new section though, that is totally mobile friendly. Okay. So I can add those components in there. So then I'm going to go click out of here, go to desktop, and I'm just going to copy and paste these elements into there. So check mark, mobile. I don't know why that's coming out like that. So here, what I'm going to want to do instead of, because that came out all funny, I'm going to want to go and drag and drop an image. So this way, do it this way. Perfect. And now it's not coming out all strange. Sometimes with mobile, it just comes out a little bit different than you want it to. So maybe I'll put this right here. I'm going to do that 3 times because I have those 3 areas, and just kind of roughly place them where I think it. Okay. All right, and then I'll go over to desktop, hit Command C. And you just copy and paste into this area here. And then you can keep on extending this too if you need to. Okay, let's go over to desktop again and get that one last offer here. And drop it below. Now maybe you want this to be center instead. You can do that. And this won't impact anything on the other end. Just make sure that this is center. Okay, and then copy and paste this part. Okay, and then you can move things up too if you feel like it's not, you know, sized exactly right, but I think this is looking pretty good. Maybe I want to move this up a little bit closer because you just want to make sure all these areas here are looking nice and, you know, the spacing is consistent throughout. So now I'm going to go back over to desktop. So I just made a mess of my desktop. So here is where I added it in mobile. I want to now hide this area on desktop. So what I'm going to do is select that section and then select that. And look, now it's not showing this on the desktop, and now it's looking good on the mobile side of things here. The form we have to fix because this area is a mess, and I don't need to duplicate anything here. I just need to drag and drop this below and move this further down. So just, you know, move things out of the way. Okay, now this is a mess too. So I'm going to take this and move this down all the way down. So it's kind of out of the way here. And what I'm going to want to do here with this, I want to move this over. I want to push that in. And then look how small it is. We don't want it that small. So we're going to want to make it nice and bigger, and it is going to come out into that red zone. That's totally fine. There we go. Maybe we want it that size. I don't want to make this section longer here. And then click this, push that back in there. If you want to make the font even bigger, you just go like that. Push it back in there. Maybe I want that in the center. Okay, and I want to fix this area here. Down below here is a mess, so I want to fix that. Maybe I want the logo down here. This goes over here, and then maybe I want the button up here. Or opposite, maybe I want this down here, this over here, right next to this. Okay, cool. So now this is all set. I'm going to click save. And then I also want to preview it. Making sure it looks all nice on each view. So I'm going to go back over to desktop, check out this view, make sure everything that needs to be hidden is hidden so that it looks seamless. Okay, let's go back into editing. Now we do have another area here that needs attention. If you do have a form on your page, you don't need to have a form on the page, but if you did want to collect information and you have a form on the page, what you're going to need to do is change the form confirmation dialog. So you would select this here, and then you would want to make sure that this is bringing that message that you want to put there. So let's change and add the logo that I had before. Drag and drop an image. Use full size, and then I'm going to scale it myself. Let's make this a little bit longer. And maybe you want to keep, thank you for your interest. Let them know what to expect. So one of our lawn care professionals will be in touch shortly. Okay, so then I have a little bit of information of what they can anticipate. Maybe I want this centered here. There we go. Okay, so that would populate after they fill out the form. And then you want to make sure that this is all good on mobile as well. And of course, it's always going to be a little bit messier, so you got to make sure you clean it up. Do not forget the mobile part. It's really important. You definitely want to make sure that you have everything looking great on both mobile and on desktop. Make sure this is centered here. Okay. Okay. All right, so I am going to click save again. I personally like to click save throughout just to make sure I don't lose anything. All right, so if you are all set with your page, you feel like it looks good, you've checked it out on the preview end, you've checked out the mobile side, you've checked out the form confirmation dialog, and you have your page properties set here. What we're going to want to do is click publish. So let's click on this icon here to get back to home. And here we go. This is the page here. So click on this. Before we want to publish it, let's see if we want to change the URL at all. If you don't have a website, that's okay. This is going to act as your landing page. It's going to, instead of having, your domain, it does have the UB pages, but it's still yours. It's still your landing page. So it's okay if you don't have a website. You can still work with Unbounce. If you want to change any of these areas here in the URL, you just click change URL. This is the domain name here because it's now an Unbounce page. You can add a domain, so you can have your website domain. It all depends on if you have a WordPress site or a different site. So this is something that you would want to talk with your webmaster about, or your web developer, and get that plugin integration. If you want to link this up to your website, it's not mandatory. You can still go directly from here. So let's say I'm happy with this. But if you did want to change it, you can change the path here so that it says main of grass services, maybe contact us, whatever you want. Just make sure that it has, something in there that's relevant to the page. Another thing I'm going to want to do is click on integrations. Okay. This is where I'm going to want to set up the notifications. So once someone fills out the form, you're going to want to get it sent to you. So what you're going to want to do here is put the email address that you want it forwarded from. So I'm going to put my Mane of Grass email here. This is the email that I want to receive leads from. So I'm going to put jessica.maneofgrass@gmail.com. Okay. I'm going to keep this the way it is, new lead. So you will get notified anytime a lead fills out the form. And what's really cool is you can just respond directly to the email to reach back out to the lead. It's that simple. You can also add any of these other integrations as well if you do have a CRM. But if you don't, it's okay. You can simply get the email notifications right through here. When a lead fills out the form, this is the section where you can see where the leads populate. And I'm going to do a test on the form so that you can see what shows up here. And then I'm also going to show you what shows up on your inbox, because I just set this up with that jessica.maneofgrass email. So this is where your leads would show. Okay, let's go ahead and click publish. Okay, so now we have the published page. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to do a test here just to show you what happens when someone fills out the form. Okay, so they are looking at this, they're interested, and they fill out the form. So I'm just going to fill test 8888. Let's put lawn mowing. This is just a test. Okay. So let's go ahead and click get started. Look, that populates there. Okay. And then if I go back over here under leads, there we are. Here are our leads. This is the test email that I just sent. One really helpful feature that you can do here also is download your leads. So you can just download that directly from here once they come through. If you did want to keep an email marketing list, or if you start email marketing services, that's going to be helpful to build your list. But that's a completely different area. We're not really discussing email marketing, but if you did ever want to set that up, your leads come through here, you download this, and you can start an email marketing list for people that fill out forms. Okay, now let me go over to the email here. And look, in my inbox here, this is my fake business inbox. In this inbox here, this is the Unbounce notification, your new lead. If you click here, this is where it is. This gives you all the information. It tells you which page it came from, the email, and if you want to respond to the person, you simply click on this and you can email them directly. Reaching, thanks for your interest, and fill it in however you'd like, but that's how you can get that information there. Okay. All right, so all of this is set up. Now there's one last area that I need to show you and discuss with you, and that is setting up your conversion tracking code. I'm going to go ahead and have this on the home screen just so that you can kind of become familiar with accessing your pages in your home screen. Okay, I'm going to go into my Google Ads account that I just created with you. Let's cancel out of here. Now, to set up your conversion tracking, what you're going to need to do is go to Tools and Settings, click on Under Measurements, click on Conversions, add conversions, website, And for this particular circumstance, I'm going to put submit lead form because that's the action that is causing this conversion. And then I'm going to keep this the same, the conversion name, submit lead form. I know what that is then. I know that they're submitting a form. So for the value portion here, if it's a service that you provide and it's around the same cost per the service, you can go ahead and click use the same value for each conversion and then put an estimate of what it would be for your type of services. You can put that here. If you don't know, or if it really is a customized type service, select don't use a value. And I know it says not recommended. Don't worry about that. The reason why it's saying that it's not recommended is because in the metrics component of your Google Ads account, it's not going to be able to have that information provided for you. This is okay. You can click don't use a value for this conversion action. If you are selling things that are a different value, then you would want to select use different values. So I am going to put don't use a value for this conversion action. And then for count, you're going to want to select 1 if you're counting the conversion action for the first interaction that they have with you. So if maybe they go back and they fill out your form a whole bunch of times, then it would count each one of those times that they filled out the form, that same person from the same IP address. It's going to count each time they fill out the form as a different unique conversion action. We want just 1. We want it, if they fill out the form once, that's going to be the conversion action. You don't want to do it every single time. If they're purchasing something, then you would want every, because maybe the same person is purchasing different products and items. Then we would want every. For this landscaping company, I want to select 1. Okay, and then for all of this here, keep this all the same. For the attribution model, click position based. That's the only thing you're going to want to change here. And then here, I'm just going to click off that toggle here for enable enhanced CPC. Okay, then create and continue. Since we're setting this up through Unbounce, you're going to want to click install the tag yourself. Okay, and then what you're going to want to do is click this first area here. And then what we're going to do is install this into your Unbounce page. So what I'm going to do is copy this, Command C. I'm going to go back over to my Unbounce account. I'm going to click on the page I just created, this one. I'm going to go into the page. So I want to click edit to go into the page. Okay, and then what I'm going to want to do, click on the form confirmation dialog here. And what we're going to do is enter the code in this JavaScript section here. The reason why I want to do this on the form confirmation dialog is because it's triggering that code when somebody has landed on this page, meaning that they filled out the form, hit submit. So that is a conversion action, the fact that they filled out the form. If I did it on this page here, if I went into the JavaScripts and added this here, then it's going to count a conversion action every time somebody landed on this page, which we don't want. We want to know when they filled out the form. So what we're going to do here is click Form Confirmation Dialog. We're going to click on JavaScripts right down here below. We're going to name this Google Ads Conversion. And then we need to place this in the head. And it says this here too, just to go back and forth here. So just to show you here, it's the head here. So you want to copy this tag and put it in the head. So let's go back over here. I want to make sure this is in the head, Google Ads Conversion, and I'm going to copy and paste and then hit done. And that is it. You hit save, you hit republish, All right, success, your changes are live. Got it. So now I have my conversion tracking set up. If I go back over here, I'm going to go ahead and click next here. And this is all set. So I'm going to click done. I have my conversion tracking set up here. Okay. Okay, so that is it for your tutorial for Unbounce. So this is a great way to bypass any website issues. You'll have your landing pages set up. You don't necessarily have to have a website or a domain. You can still run your ads, have it connect to a landing page that is direct, relevant, and specific to your products or services. So congratulations on setting up your page. Congratulations on setting up your Canva account and your Google Ads accounts. So your Unbounce portion is complete.